Alright gang, it has been a while. I'm glad to be back. I'm going to make a new knife review video with this beauty right here. The D.H. Russell Grohmann belt knife from Canada. You have the Grohmann box that it comes with. This is, let's see if we can get it to focus a little bit here for us. This is the Survival number 4 in stainless. So let's open it up and see what we got. I'm trying to keep that in frame here. So first we got the knife in sheath. This is how it comes. It came with some literature here, some more products. They have a kitchen knife line. As you can see, a very extensive kitchen line of knives with various handles, handle materials, and designs. And there are more on this side. So Grohmann, or Grohmann, however you pronounce it, makes a wide array of knives. And this is their, I would suppose you would call it the outdoor line. It's the outdoor catalog. So these are the various styles, sheaths, and designs that you can get from Grohmann. Or D.H. Russell belt knives, Grohmann belt knives. I believe they are one and the same. Alright, so let's get into the knife itself. First, it comes with a lanyard, which is pretty much a shoestring. It's not paracord, it's not 550 corded, but I mean, it's strong enough you could improvise something with it if you wanted to. The sheath, first off, this is my one major complaint about the design of the sheath and knife in conjunction is, as you can see when I let go, this tab wants to come back over. Well, that will affect the draw, because if I don't keep this pushed back and I draw this knife out, it is going to cut right there. See? So I'm going to have to modify this in a way to keep this held back when I draw it, or I'm going to constantly have to be aware and hold this out of the way as I draw the knife. So there's what we have. This is the Grohmann number 4 Survival from Canada, as you can see. Maybe if I do my job here. Canada. Fingerprint on it. And here we have the Grohmann D.H. Russell number 4S stainless. It has a nice design, almost a Nessmuck design. It's full tang, rosewood handles, and it has a false edge or a swedge on the top to make penetration of the tip easier in skinning or wood carving duties. It has some nice jimping here. And all around feels really nice in the hand, like how the swell is toward the rear here. That makes it nice in the hand. And for like the snap cuts, whenever you pinch and let the blade fall forward or snap forward for light chopping duties, this back of the handle it hits perfect right into the palm of your hand for that snapping action. Get into some measurements. Get the tail of the tape here. Our blade length is looks to be about 5 3/4, with the sharpened edge being about just under 5 1/2. The handle length is about 4 3/4. It's a nice, generous handle for larger hands, and I believe it would fit nicely in anyone's hand. Really, it feels really good. The only thing I feel is this, there's a bit of a angle, like almost a right angle right here on the handle itself. I don't know if I'll be able to show it well enough right here. This feels like it could become a hot spot as you grip up towards there, and I can feel it when my fingers wrap around the other side. So I haven't used this in the woods yet, but that's the only thing I feel as far as that goes, and it could be remedied very quickly with some sandpaper if I found it to be cumbersome. But other than that, it feels nice, solid in the hand. It fits the shape of your palm and how your hand closes very well. This one I got from knifecenter.com out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I believe this is probably a factory second from Grohmann. Thus why I got a little bit cheaper price on it. I got it $134, I believe. But as I don't know if I can get this right there. That grind is a little bit off on the swedge. As you can see, it kind of dips in at the top where it doesn't at the bottom. But that is not going to affect it structurally. See, we can see how it dips there. And then we roll over, it comes back just a couple millimeters, maybe just 1 millimeter further than that on that grind. And then here on this grind, yeah, right there, it's off a little bit on this side, just a hair. And I think that's what got the reduced price, because other than that, I can't find anything wrong with it. Not wrong with it, but any imperfections, I should say. And on the positive side, another great feature, I got some wax paper here. It came extremely sharp. Like, I'm putting very little effort into that, and I'm not... But yeah, it's extremely sharp, and it slides right through this paper. It's very thin paper too, which they'll go through a thicker paper stock a little bit easier because they'll bite into it, but this just glides right through. So here I thought I would show you my plan for modifying the sheath. What I plan on doing, how the belt loop tucks back through. If we can get it pulled back here a little bit where you can see, that's how the loop works. It has like the tab that pops through there. So my plan is, I have a leather punch somewhere here, this guy, and I'm going to pop a couple holes through this tab, and then I'm going to pop a couple holes through this tab. Then I'm going to run a bungee, a stretchy elastical cord type thing. And I plan on putting grommets through the holes to make them more sturdy. That way, whenever I pop this off, the tension from the bungee should pull this back. Then whenever I'm drawing the knife out of the sheath, I'm not going to slice it right here where it would like to slice it if I'm not paying attention. So my overall, here you can see, whenever I draw that out, right there, it's going to cut. And I want to not do it, so I'm not going to do it on camera. I want to preserve my knife and sheath as much as I can. And if it was a crappy sheath, I wouldn't care. I would just make a Kydex sheath for it or something. But it's a pretty decent leather sheath. It's got the little Canada leaf and the Grohmann logo there with the Canada maple leaf. So I thought I would try to make it just a little bit better, and we'll see how that turns out in the future. My overall review of this knife is, I would give it probably out of a score out of a 10, 10 being perfect, I would give it an 8.5, I believe. Yeah, we'll go with an 8.5 because the grinds are off just slightly. Like I said, I believe this is a factory second that Knife Center got. Other than that, the grinds on the blade just being slightly imperfect. And like I said, that will not affect the performance of this knife. It's still as sturdy and as good as it would be. It just aesthetically, when you look at it, you can see that the grinds are off just a hair. The sheath itself, that's the drawback for me, is the spot there where it's going to slice when you draw it. So between the grinds and that's where I give the imperfect score of a 8 to an 8.5, I guess, because I'm going to have to do work now to modify this. And when I pay, a good amount of money, for me anyway, $134, I think it was $144 shipped. I would like, I got my camera messed up here a little bit. I didn't realize that shit was in the way. But onward we go. Yeah, whenever I pay that much money for anything, really, I prefer it for me not to have to do any modifications. But a lot of times in the knife world, you do run into that type of issue. And yeah, I'll check back in and show you my remedy to the... All right, gang, I'm back after modifying the sheath. As you can see, I put 6 grommets on it. Here and here. And those are just like for Kydex sheaths like this one. That's just what these are. And you put them in there and you pound them on a little anvil with a tapered tool, and it spreads them out a little bit. So that's what we got here. And I'll show you in just a second how I plan on rigging this up. So the idea is going to be to take this, it's a stretchy little bungee cord. We're going to run it through our grommets here and pull it up like that. I think we'll, no, I think I'm going to go the other way. So run it through my other end and run it through here. Now we pull that. Now come across the front and we'll leave you a loop there. Then we're going to run underneath and up through, then back to these. I may crisscross it or something here. We'll see how it functions. So we got that. Put this one up through. Now you see how that's going to work, right? So whenever this is over, and there'll be tension back here through these, and that should pop up out of the way of the blade, in theory. So I'm going to cross them like that at first, and let's see what that does. I think that's what we're going to want. I want to look and see, just aesthetics wise, what it looks like without them crossed. See if it maybe will go a little smoother that way. I don't know. That's the basic function we want, is for that to get up out of our way of our blade path that will be coming through and slicing this if we don't have that. So I'm going to take this, and since it's elastic, I will stretch it a little further than I was thinking there. And I have plenty of it in case I mess up. But I think we'll be all right. Yeah, there we go. So, with our knife in the sheath, how we have it, this will fold over like so. We want to get our knife out, pop that, and that gets it out of the way so the blade clears it. All right, gang. So this is the finished product. That's how it looks. Like I said, I give it 8 out of 10. And I don't think that's too harsh of a score. Like I said, if I didn't have to do work on it, I would have probably given it I'd have probably maybe gave it a 9. Well, no, I don't know, maybe an 8.5. Probably bump it up to an 8.5. Because I think the grind should have been on, because I did further research on this, and the factory seconds come with an S with a circle stamped on the blade. So you know that it is a Grohmann, whatever, factory second. This is not a factory second. This is straight from the factory. So with that in consideration, I feel good giving it an 8 out of 10. And the sheath is good. I like the made up from the fold and the welding and stuff is very nice. It's waxed, perfectly smooth. It's got a drain hole in the bottom to let water out. It's got 2 little pass-through grommets here that I suppose you could run some cordage through, or maybe that aids in water draining out. I'm not sure. It's decent work. It could have been thicker. It could have been nicer quality leather, but for the price, I think it's fair. Yeah, if this was a factory second, I would have probably given it a little bit higher of a score. But to if I was running a business, I wouldn't let them go out of the door like that with the grinds off or anything. Like, maybe it's OCD or whatever, but that's just me. Yeah, I do recommend it unless something catastrophic happens when I'm using it. I recommend it, and the line of their knives look like nice quality designs. So I will get back with an actual outdoor use video on this knife in the near future. And with that said, gang, I'll talk to you next time.